Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017, and welcome back to Hermanns Eck. So we're really right where we were last time when we stopped. And we gotta figure out what to do with this hay. So I'm gonna try a couple of things. I don't know if you can put hay directly into the compost master. You can put almost anything into the compost master. So I think we might be okay just putting hay in there, because I realized we don't necessarily want to bale this, not because we have so many hay bales already, and silage bales, not just because we have so many hay bales already that we don't really need anymore, but we don't really have anywhere to put them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put this hay into the compost master. If that works, fantastic. Yeah, because we got all these. We just don't have any place to put them. I'm going to try to put that hay into the compost master. If it doesn't accept it, then I'm going to bring it back here, try to spread it out a little bit, and we will bale it up. We'll rent a baler, lease a baler. We'll bale it up, and we will sell those bales. Yeah, it took me a second. Okay, so then the next thing will be, let us rent a fuel Bowser, and where is our, oh, there it is right there. So this is the Coda Universal, and I believe this barrel from Coda Universal is going to be the only thing that will allow us to put fuel into the compost master. Generally how it's set up. So let's lease that. That's over at the store, and we'll haul it with, I think our 500 ought to be enough. This is a good tractor. Nice right in between tractor. So let's get this backed up. Just enough to clear the... Whoa. Oh. Everything is a little bit wonky with my controls right now. I have to say I'm not too happy about it. But so it goes. So it goes. So it is a Monday for me. Let's sneak right through here. A little tight on our farm. Yeah. So it's Monday for me. I don't know how you're doing, where you are. I hope you're doing well. You'll see this on Tuesday. And man, we really don't have that many episodes left before we are into Farm Sim 19. I'm excited, man. I really, really am. I can't wait. And I am filled with curiosity. And I've actually been asking around a little bit, like, what do you think of FS19 so far? What are you expecting it to be? What do you think it's going to be? I just don't know. I don't know. And I think as much as anything else, I'm really kind of excited in a way. This is going to sound weird, but if you're way into Farm Sim, if you're way into mods, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm really kind of looking forward to just backing everything up to my remote hard drive. And for the moment, uninstalling FS17 and getting rid of all my mods, because I love this game. You know, I mean, I love it enough to YouTube it. I love this game. It can be frustrating, but I love it. One thing we have to be aware of, I guess, or that we have to like admit to ourselves, is like any other system, you know, and this applies to everything. It applies to engineering, city planning, politics, everything. Any model, any system, once it becomes sufficiently complex, it becomes unstable. It's just like a truism in life. It's like a fact, yo. The more complex you make things, the more unstable they become. And you know what we do to these games with mods, we know that we're making them unstable. And I mean, for me, I just speak for myself, you know that. I just speak for myself, but for me, I can't get enough of these mods. I just love it. But it's we do take the game far from what it was intended by the developers to be. Get this back right about there. Beautiful. Get that hooked up. So we're going to get fuel at the commissary here. Actually, we're going to back up just a little bit more and get, so we can get our nose kind of turned around a little bit right there. There we go. So we'll hit the commissary on the way out here, and get some fuel, and then we'll take this over to the compost master, which is on the other side of the map, so we'll be doing a little driving today. Man, this is such a pretty map. I really, really like it. When I think about, you know, if I was going to move to a farm, I understand this is like an idealized farm. Like, this is not, there's no real farm that looks like this. Although maybe there is. Maybe there is. This could be based on a real farm. But when I think about, you know, if I could retire and run a real farm in real life, which, you know, I wouldn't mind doing that. But probably not going to happen in this life. But if I could do that, I would want the farm that I retired to look pretty much just like this. I like a kind of a small, quaint, you know, kind of like a storybook farm. You know what I mean? Maybe such a place has never existed in real life, but if I could go to a place like this and just chill, you know, hang out with my dog, and just be in a peaceful place. I would want it to be a place that looks just like this, right? Let's see if we get to fill. Come on. We're filling our tractor. We're not filling our... I want to fill the... where's our trigger? Where is our trigger? We're hitting the trigger. We're hitting the trigger for the tractor. And I need to hit the trigger for the... There we go. I see it, but I just drove out of it. So we want... There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this thing. It's going to be expensive, but it's okay, because I think we'll make money on this map. You know, something else, like, is it right in front of us? No, it's over the other way, over our other shoulder. Right back there, in one of those overhead bins, one of those overhead hoppers, is compost. And I believe, in fact, we can check it right now while this thing is filling. Let me hop out. Open up the tablet. Is it here? No. Is it here? Yeah, compost. It says we have a million liters of compost. I mean, that's what the farm comes with. I'm not complaining. It's just an unusual farm in that you start just so absolutely stacked up with commodities and supplies. It's really, it's different. And it's different to the point where I don't know, I feel sometimes like I'm missing something about this farm. Like, it's really, I don't want to say it's really easy. It's a great farm. I'm not complaining. But I am curious why it starts you with so many commodities. Plus the brewery. So let's get pulled over to the gate here. I think I remember where the compost master is, but I want to check the map just the same. So put right here. Wow, this thing is heavy when it's full. Right, so we go to map. We go to, and you know what, while we're here, let's get our, I think that was 30,000 we just spent on fuel. Okay. And, you know, it's tricky to do that because compost master, it's all the way at the end. Okay, so we're going to go all the way around and then right up through here. Okay. Okay. Here we go. You know, it's tricky to justify that 30 grand that we just spent. Come on. Come on. There it is. It's tricky to justify that 30,000 we just spent when we have already 1 million liters of compost. But, you know, it's the whole point of a farm sim is to farm, you know, to do stuff. So I guess if we were playing 100% realistically, we would not have bought that fuel just now. We wouldn't be going to the compost master. Maybe to the BGA. I don't know. But, you know, it's just a game. Just have some fun with it. Now, I think we can cut around and up this field. In fact, let's hop in cab. I think we can cut around this field that is on our left right now. It's going to be tricky. We're going to have to go up kind of a steep gravel hill with this loaded fuel Bowser. So I don't know how that's going to go, but you know what? We'll find out. And the best thing is, whoa, very heavy. Very heavy. The best thing is, if it doesn't work out, we'll just go to plan B. Figure something out. We always do. So what else is going on? FS17 is a couple weeks away. I think that's about it. I spent a good part of the day yesterday, kind of on and off. It was a lazy Sunday for me, but I spent a good part of the day yesterday. Are we going to make it? We're going to make it up this hill in our 500? Oh, it's steep. It is definitely steep. Come on. There we go. I spent a good part of the day yesterday skinning trucks in Euro Truck. Kind of, I don't want to say started over, but 1.32, you know, we did need to, I don't know, get a bunch of new mods in, and some of those mods needed skins, so I just spent some time building skins. And that's a fun process. It's a little, if you're doing a bunch of them in a row, it can be a little bit tedious, but it's fun. I do enjoy it, but it's a process. You have to find a template first, and you have to, you know, using ETS Studio and making sure that the truck that you want to skin is in there, and if it's not, you have to put it in. And once all that's done, then you can actually start building the skin. There's no traffic on this road, and I'm just going to go for it because I don't want to lose my momentum. I don't want to lose my momentum. Come on. Oh, really? We're not caught on anything. We just can't get up this hill. Okay. Okay. So we need to go down the hill. I don't know how we're going to get over there now. You know, I thought about bringing the 700 because this Bowser is pretty heavy. Come on. Come on. And this tractor has been acting up a little bit. It's, come on. With Gearbox, it's been acting up a little bit. Come on. Oh, this is so tedious. And it's weird the way it sort of sticks in gear. You know, I feel like we've got the power if we could just get into a low enough gear, but it doesn't always want to get into a low enough gear. So what I'm going to do is go down here, because this is the only way to get up there. So we're going to have to go down here somewhere and turn around, and then try to get a run at that hill. It's that farm sim life, yeah. How about right... Can we make this turn? Can we make this turn? Maybe. Yeah, we can make this turn. Save game. Thank you very much. And even this may or may not work. Alright. So we got some momentum. I mean, it's realistic. That's what we're after, right? We want that realism. Get some momentum. See if we can get up this hill. Maybe. Maybe. That's it. That's it. Downshift. 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 One more. One more. Come on, buddy. Come on. Oh. That's that mod life. I love it. I love it. Okay, fantastic. We made it. That was a little dicey. So once you have your template and once you have everything set up in ETS Studio and you know that you can skin your truck and everything is in place, at that point, then you can begin skinning. And that's I mean, I can get a lot of it. sort of in one try, I guess is a good way to say it. And by that I mean, you know what, I just thought of something. Let's do this. Since we do have a load of fuel, let's throw some beacons on. Come on. I feel like if it would... Oh, dear. I feel like if it would downshift and hold, we'd be okay. But it's like... it doesn't want to downshift, and so it just keeps kicking out the clutch. And we never get any momentum. It was doing this when we had our seeder on, too. Just trying to back up in that little field. Yeah, it kicks the clutch all the way down to 0. I don't know, man. And this is what I mean when I say FS19 cannot get here soon enough. Now, this is not the game's fault. It's not really anybody's fault. Oh, Jesus. This isn't really the game's fault. This is sort of the mod's fault. But basically, I just wanted to downshift to first gear and stay in first gear until we're moving. And instead, there we go. That's all I wanted to do right there. Just get in gear and stay in gear. So yeah, this is what I mean when I say FS19 can't get here soon enough. And this is not the game's fault. This is because of all the stacked mods that I have running. But at the same time, it's like, it's almost like I don't have the discipline to just step away from the mod life. Like, I have to stay. Oh, whoa. That's a lot of fuel. And we'll slow down a little bit. It's a lot of fuel back there. It's like I don't have the discipline, I guess. I don't want to turn off some of these mods. It's, I don't know, ego maybe? You know, that if something's not working properly, it's like, I'll make it work. I won't just get rid of it. And that's sort of the way, like after seasons, you know, I get kind of irritated in the wintertime when you're just taking care of animals and there's really nothing else going on. So I tend to speed up time. And then really all you're doing is taking care of animals. And it's like, ugh, that it gets a little boring. And the solution is to make the season shorter or just turn seasons off altogether. And it's like, no, I won't do that. So Gearbox can be kind of a pain in the ass, but I won't turn it off. And more realistic can be very frustrating, but I won't turn it off. So I think that's why I'm looking forward to FS19, is that all this stuff will be, hopefully all this stuff will be gone. I don't think that FS19 is going to have a lot of mods that will work for it straight away. I know it won't be long before the modders have converted over things like Gearbox and more realistic. Although, some of that stuff could be native, because I know Giants sort of, you know, they know what's going on with mods. I'm told that Seasons is going to be in FS19. Oh dear. All right. All right. Little drone cam. Got through there. All right. I'm told that Seasons or something like Seasons is going to be, it's either going to be mandatory in FS19, at the very least it's going to be available in FS19. So that's very cool. I don't know if things like More Realistic and Gearbox are going to be included as well. Now, I'm curious, whoa, that it's, that Bowser, you can just feel the weight on it. And we've got a big weight up front, but I feel like it's not quite enough. All right, momentum, here we go. Momentum, come on. Oh, and then we got another hill. Okay. I ain't scared. We gonna make it? Oh, this is a steep one. Oh God, if we make it this close to the compost master and we can't make it like the last 50 meters, no. Okay. This is realism, yo. This is... Oh, come on, come on. Come on. I have to think that the developers of FS19, well, developers of Farm Sim in general, but you know what I mean. I have to think that they are aware of cattle and crops and what cattle and crops is trying to do in a good way. And I'm curious if they don't incorporate more features into FS19 that I guess people have been asking for, that were maybe sort of what... Let me get all turned around here. Right, and I think, I mean, it's typically... It looks like a new skin on the regular Compost Master, and if that's the case, then that means our fuel tip point is going to be right back here. Well, this has been exciting. We're like 20 minutes and we're just trying to get fuel into the Compost Master. But you know what? It's the way it works out sometimes on the farm. All right. There we go. So some of the features that are in cattle and crops, or that will be in cattle and crops, things like terrain deformation, more robust AI for the workers, as far as them being able to do more complex things like, what is that about? Don't stop filling. But as far as them being able to go from point to point on the map, or setting up a more complex AI scheme, like go to this field, do this thing, and then when you're done, take the tractor back to the farm. You know, things that Farm Sim AI cannot at the moment do. So I feel like the developers of Farm Sim, Giants and Focus, have to know that, and I'm curious if some of those things are included in FS19 as a sort of a response to cattle and crops. I'm curious. I would like to see those things, but I'd like to see them executed well. And then at the same time, I know that not cattle and crops, Farm Sim, that the Farm Sim audience is pretty spread out, and I think, you know, because we play the game so heavily modded, I think we forget that the base game is kind of a sandbox game, and it's awesome. It's a fun game, but it's kind of a sandbox game, and I feel like Giants and Focus don't necessarily want to make something that is so complex and so brutal that, you know, it's only for like the most hardcore of hardcore farmers or Farm Sim players, and then it's not really accessible or fun for anybody else. So, you know, in terms of making the game the way we want it to be, I think they're aware that if they do that, they may make the game sort of not necessarily what everybody else wants it to be. And then that's, you know, they're running a business. They can't afford to like run off a big part of their fan base or a big part of their potential customers because the game is just so hard to play. So we'll see. But, you know, things like right there, like we just did, you know, getting that fuel up to the Compost Master, that wasn't hard, but it wasn't, you know, we had our moments. And that's from a mod. Like we can, if it gets to be too much for us, we can just turn that mod off. Now, if that were like native in the base game, if we were sort of locked into that I could see how that could be very frustrating. It was a little bit frustrating for me. So you get what I'm saying. You know, you want the game to be challenging, but you don't want it to be so challenging and so difficult that it just, you know what I mean, becomes unplayable or tedious. That's the That's the word I use a lot. You don't want it to get boring. You don't want it to get frustrating. So we'll see. Just another couple of weeks, and we will be in FS19. I'm also curious how it runs on my machine. You know, apparently they've done some amazing things with the graphics. So we'll see how that all works out. And yeah, very, very curious. And I think, having just kind of learned our lesson, well, we should have done actually exactly the opposite. We should have taken the fuel over with the 700, and then we could take the loading wagon over with the 500. You know what? You just want to pretend we did that? You just want to... Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're going to stay in this 500. As risky as that just was, getting up that hill. I mean, I have to think that a loading wagon with 20,000 liters of hay in it is going to weigh a lot less than a fuel bowser with 20,000 liters of kerosene in it. Diesel, whatever. Did we miss a turn? I feel like we missed a turn somewhere. No, we're okay. We're okay. Yeah, I get turned around on this map sometimes. It's bigger than it looks. And I think we're getting some spikes right now that we don't normally get. I think we might be downloading some Windows updates. Oh, Windows. So then we go in here. Cut down our little farm track. Okay, this is working out. So we will see if the compost master takes hay. If it does not, pretty sure it does, but if it does not, then we will bring that hay back here, dump it in the field, and next episode we will rent a baler, because by the time we get back to the compost master, we're at almost 30 minutes right now. By the time we get back to the compost master, we're going to be close to 40 minutes, and that's about long enough for an episode. So next episode, we'll pick it up with baling, if we have to go that route. If we don't, what I'll do is off camera, I will put the rest of this field into the compost master, probably mow and maybe rake one or two other fields and get them in the compost master. And then next episode, we will finish up with our first cut of grass. Okay, so we'll take this thing back and drop it off. We don't need it anymore, because 20,000 plus liters of fuel in the compost master should last for at least first grass cut, probably first, second, and well into next year. That's a lot of fuel in there. And again, it's weird now that we're going to have like 50,000 liters of compost on the other side of the map, and we have 1,000,000 liters on this side of the map. So it goes. So it goes. You know what? This is a little bit tricky because it's so tight on this map. I don't necessarily want to back this thing all the way in. Or do I? Or do I? Let's do it. You know the other thing I could do? I just thought of something. So if we... I think I may be able to put a CVT in this tractor. You want to do that? That would solve some of our problems. Let's do that. Let's get this thing dropped off first. Okay, so we'll pull this forward. Set the brake. Return that, okay. We'll come back over here. I don't know if a CVT is available for this, but let's see if it is. In fact. So we don't end up with two things in our trigger, let's just drop that weight right there. I do like this tractor, though. So, if we go here, and we can repair it while we're here anyway. Okay. So, transmission, default power shift, default vario. What do you think? Default CVT? You want to do a CVT for $1,000? Let's do it. And let's see if that makes our life easier. Yeah. Oi! Fell out of the tractor. So. So far, so good. My life seems easier. Right. Oh, that's much better. Okay. See that? Always a way to solve a problem. By throwing money at it. That's how you solve a problem. Okay, cool. Let's get our loading wagon. Forage wagon? Loading wagon? Everybody calls it something different. Let's get that going, and we will take a load of hay over to the compost master. Man, if it does not accept it, oh. Which is fine, because we only turned that one field over and made hay. So the rest of our grass fields, we can just take them over as grass, and I know it will accept just plain grass. So earlier, I got distracted, but earlier I was talking about skinning trucks, and once you have everything in place, then you have to actually make the skin. You actually have to like create the image file with all your text or your logos or your graphics or whatever. And for the most part, I can get things where I need them to be in 1 or sometimes 2 tries, but not everything always lines up exactly the way you want it to. So there are times when I have to go back and forth a few times and sort of move things around just a little bit, and it's on the other side, of course. All right. So that's it's a process that can take a little time to go back and forth, and also sometimes just the way things look. When they're done, it's like, it doesn't look the way I want it to. That's not what I wanted. So it can take a while. I think a skin for me typically takes anywhere from like 40 minutes to, I don't know, a couple hours. And that sounds... Are we way off? Oh, geez. Okay. Oh, perspective. That sounds crazy that you would spend like a couple hours working on a skin, but if you have to restart, because you have to make the skin, like actually convert everything over and make it into an SCS file, and then you have to put it in your mod folder, and then you have to start the game. And with pro mods, that can take a while. So I'm not complaining or anything. I'm just saying it can take, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go through that cycle. And if you have to do it 5 or 6 times, it can take a while. So it can take a couple hours to get one skin, for me anyway. Maybe other people do it faster. Right. Now we are not injecting silage additive right now because this isn't going to be for silage. So, you know what? That's kind of a fat windrow, but this thing isn't filling super fast. Interesting. Okay. So we'll take this over, and I'm curious. I'm wondering how it's all going to work out. I've also been thinking a lot about what we want to do for a combine harvester. I've got Claas, obviously. I've got the Mega, the 88, the 208, some sort of small Claas combine harvesters, and then I've also got a really nice Fendt that is probably too big, and it's not necessarily that the header is too big for the field as far as realism, but on some of these fields, I don't even know how we would get a header in there. And I know you always have to risk crushing a little bit of crop to get a header in, but I don't want to crush like 10% of the field. You know what I mean? And like looking at this field to our left right now, it's got one small entrance, and I feel like we would just crush a lot of crop trying to get a header in there. Whereas if we go with the, we're still filling? Yep. Whereas if we go with the Samplo, the Rosenlu, did I say that right? I may have, I may not have. But I feel like if we go with something like that, we have no worries. It'll just fit right through there. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about that as well. Right. To the compost master. And then we will, you know what, if it takes it, yeah, either way I'm going to end the episode at the compost master. If it takes it, then that'll be in there. We'll be making compost. If it does not take it, I'll just bring it back here, dump it, and make bales. Okay, that works. So, and I think after we're done with grass work, off camera, I'm going to refill the brewery and make a bunch of money, because we've got a bit of a loan right now. 80,000 pounds, 80,000 euro. So what I'll do is make beer off camera, pay down the loan, and then when we come back in, we'll be ready to go into harvest. And now, this is interesting too. We've got potatoes to harvest. We've got cereal crops to harvest. We've also got sunflowers and corn to harvest. So it's going to be an interesting harvest this year. We're going to need a lot of varied equipment and specialized equipment, more so than we normally do. More so than we normally do when we're just harvesting cereal crops, because that's normally all I plant. So it'll be interesting to try to get a corn header. Okay, try to get a corn header into some of these small fields. We'll figure it out. I'm also curious. Last time we came out of here, and we were more heavily loaded, but last time we came out of here, we tried to make a left, and we couldn't do it. So let's see, with the CVT transmission in this tractor, let's see how we do. Yeah, like nothing. Okay. You know, a mod maker can program, they can code the parameters for Gearbox into their tractor any way they want. I know some people are super realistic, but there are others that I feel like they maybe not quite as accurate when it comes to their, you know, how they have their, I'm just going. Yeah, cut that guy off. Totally cut that guy off. Sorry, sir. I feel like some people are, they get the Gearbox combos really just perfect, and others are a little bit off, and I don't know which of those is more accurate. I think sometimes that the more accurate ones are the ones that I struggle with, because that's what a real tractor would do. Yeah. And that's the whole reason I run Gearbox and more realistic. And I've seen on some of the threads for more realistic, there's links to videos of tractors like going up a hill with a load of silage, and they are going slow, man, like really slow, like walking pace, because tractors they're not made for speed, they're made for torque. So it's a different kind of animal. And like I was saying earlier, sometimes the things that make a game realistic don't make it a lot of fun, and sometimes the things that make a game fun don't make it very realistic. So a bit of a trade-off, like everything is in life. That's the superhero rule. You know how that works. Every superhero gets a superpower, but it also comes with a super vulnerability. That's why Superman is so boring. You know, and I know, kryptonite, but come on, really, kryptonite? Just stay away from kryptonite, you'll be fine. And you get somebody like Batman, you know, his superpower is he's really rich, and his super vulnerability is he's kind of crazy. You know, that's a good combo, because those two really go together. Or, you know, well, I guess Tony Stark is kind of the same way. Tony Stark is, his superpower is he's really rich and really smart, and his super vulnerability is he's an alcoholic with PTSD. That's no fun. Right, I'm actually going to look before I pull out of this one, which I don't do enough. We're good there. We're good there. Here we go. Yep, I just hit the wrong button right there. I do it all the time. All the time. I have so many sims going right now, and I try to make it so my key controls and my gamepad inputs are the same for all of them, but it just doesn't work out that way sometimes. Like, obviously, you've got functions in Farm Sim that you don't have in a Race Sim, and vice versa, so it's not like everything can be, you know, absolutely one-to-one, like, identical on all Sims. So I hit the wrong button. It's that muscle memory, yo. I hit the wrong button all the time. All the time. But I'm okay with that. Yeah, CVT was a good choice. And even that, ooh, chugging up that hill. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I'm really curious. I'm really curious if this is going to take this. And I guess this is pallets over here. Is that the pallet factory? Or is that... Okay, let's get this dropped off. I'm curious what it is that I'm looking at right there. Oh man, if it doesn't take this, after all this work, if it doesn't take this, I'm going to be so mad. But it looks like... beautiful. Trigger's a little generous, I have to say. Okay. Wow, that thing is loud. Okay. So this over here, I know I said I'd end the episode after we got that dropped off, but I'm curious. Set the brake. Wow. So loud. So this is... yeah, give me a panel. There's one. So we put fuel and logs in here, and it makes wood chips and boards. Ah, but this is the one where the fuel is straw, I want to say. It's not kerosene. It's not diesel. It's... yeah, I think you dump straw in here. Okay. And that probably means dry fuel or something. Okay. Well, you know, I'm not into logging, so I'm never going to have logs. But nice to know it's here just the same. Right. Let's let's make a thumbnail. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2017 from Hermanns Eck. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.